To see the fully uncut version of this video, head over to patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons.
What's that like to live deliciously? Chaos reigns.
Please don't scream.
Nah, Sid, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
What's happening? My name is Jonjo Lyons, and today I'm here to present to you my review for Terrifier. Written and directed by Damien Leone, Terrifier stars all of these songs. A maniac named Art the Clown terrorizes two friends on Halloween and everyone who gets in his way. Happy Halloween and welcome back to the show that is single-handedly warping your brain little by little until one day you eventually snap and murder your entire family. Which, for the record, I do not support. This week, we'll be taking a look at something that's been requested in the comments far more than any other film. Terrifier. On a budget of just $35,000, Damien Leone was able to deliver a film filled with extreme violence and also introduce a modern-day slasher who's gone on to become a pop culture sensation. Basically the dream of any horror filmmaker. Terrifier has gone on to become a wildly successful franchise, with Part 3 releasing earlier this month, which, by the time this video airs, I would have seen. At a drive-in theatre, no less, which is pretty cool. I'm going to be covering Part 2 and 3 when it releases digitally, but for now, let's check out the bloodbath that started it all. But before we get into all of that, I just want to remind you, you can see this video completely uncut and early at patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons for as little as $2 a month. That's it. Want to see the uncut videos and gain access to the Discord? Go over there now. Also, as you may know, I directed my first ever short film back in August, and we're now raising the funds to help finish the film. We're hiring a feature film editor, sound designer, and composer. Shout out Alexander Taylor. Oh, and the amazingly talented Brutal Posters is going to be doing the artwork for the film, so that's pretty exciting. We need to raise the money to pay all of those wonderful people, so please check out the link in the pinned comment or description below and donate whatever you can, big or small, to help us reach that goal. You can see the pitch video for the Indiegogo on the channel and check out the exclusive official trailer. Trust me, when you see that trailer, you're going to understand. This one's going to be a banger. But anyway, I'm in the mood to meet the single worst clown you could ever have at a kid's party, so let's not waste any more time. Get ready to see the greatest hacksaw kill in cinematic history. This is Terrifier. The movie begins with a TV sat on the floor showing static. That soon clears as an interviewer becomes visible and we are introduced to the sole survivor of the Miles County massacre, who has a face only a mother could love, if she was blind, and particularly liked melty things.
I wish I was dead.
The interviewer then asks about her attacker, Art the Clown, whose body disappeared from the morgue the night after the attack as the killer himself steps in front of the telly. Play-Doh Face says Art is dead, that she saw it happen when the killer kicks the TV in and sets about getting himself ready for another party. He gathers his tools and goes on his way as we cut to the interviewer in her dressing room being less than kind about the victim.
Yeah, well, if you think she looks that bad on television, imagine what she looks like sitting 2 feet away from you.
She thinks she hears something, so looks back at the costume rack before carrying on her conversation. She then answers another call, but hears the noise again, so like any good horror movie victim, decides to go and check it out. Oh, thank God. No! Not that beautiful face! Hey, it's okay, babe. It's okay. Just hold on. Here we go. That's better. Now, let's see those tits. Cut to the title card and then to Dawn and Tara on their way back from a party. They argue about who's gonna drive and we get our first look at Art the Clown stumbling across them. They decide to go and get some food so they can sober up when Tara catches sight of the clown, which freaks her out. Dawn, the more wasted of the two, calls out to him much to Tara's dismay, but when they turn back, Art has vanished. Cut to this pizzeria as Tara looks at pictures on her phone when her battery dies. Dawn then joins her after
The longest piss I've ever taken.
and they sit chit-chatting when Art steps in and takes a seat. He then starts pulling faces at Tara, with this cut being my absolute favourite.
Are you okay?
Tara wants to leave, but instead, clearly being the smarter of the two, Dawn decides to get a picture with Art. All done, she heads back to her chair as Art continues to stare at Tara. The pizza man then comes up and tries to take Art's order, but is ignored. He's still staring at Tara, and I get it. I haven't said someone could shit in my mouth in a while, but she definitely has permission. Take a long, hot, slimy dookie right into my hole, sweet baby angel. Art then gets up and gets a ring out of this toy machine, which he presents to Tara. He then slips it onto her finger and strolls off to the bathroom. The pizza man delivers a couple of slices and checks the girls are okay, saying he'll take care of the clown. Tara then wonders what's in the clown's bag when the pizza man suddenly kicks Art out, calling him a freak. He tells the cook to get a mop and bleach, leaving us to wonder exactly what went on in there. Art waves goodbye as we cut to the girls walking back to the car. As they walk, they wonder what Art did in the bathroom, with Dawn saying that he probably had a causing me to wonder if clowns silly string. Back at the car, they see one of Dawn's tyres has been slashed, so Tara asks to use her phone to call her sister. Back at the pizza place, the cook is cleaning up the mess that Art made, where he's completely covered the entire bathroom in even writing his own name on the wall. A true work of art.
It's disgusting. Got me cleaning piss and at 1 o'clock in the morning. Let the guy who handles food take care of it. Real sanitary.
I wish that was the worst thing he was going to do tonight. Cut to Victoria as she answers the phone to her sister Tara. We find out Victoria has to be up for her midterms in 5 hours when Tara tells her about their flat tyre situation. Suddenly, Victoria's roommate bursts in drunk with a bloat, so she decides to stretch her legs. Back at the car, Tara looks antsy, so Dawn asks her what's wrong. Tara wonders if Art was the one who slashed their tyres. He did. But Dawn dismisses this and says Tara should have just let her drive. Back at the pizza place, the cook finally finishes cleaning and calls out to the pizza man, but doesn't get a response. That's when he walks into the kitchen and discovers the pizza man's head has been turned into a jack-o'-lantern. Rubber jack-o'-lantern. The cook tries to get out the back door, but it's locked, so goes for the phone when Art explodes his hand with a meat cleaver, then knifes him in the face, which looks really painful. This scene is then intercut with the girls talking about the clown as he takes the poor cook apart, reducing the cook's face to a lumpy bowl of pudding. Yummy! Cut back to the car as Tara says she needs to go to the bathroom. Right here, babe. She doesn't want to go in the street or my mouth, so instead asks this fella if she can go in the building he's working in. The man begrudgingly agrees and they head inside. As he shows her the bathroom, the man says he's here to bug bomb the building for rats, so Tara makes him check the toilet before she goes. All clear, the man leaves and Tara looks around the creepy bathroom before taking the plunge. Cut back to Tara listening to the radio and taking a selfie. She hears about the pizza men getting brutally murdered and the description of their killer, the clown.
Oh my god, you're never gonna believe what I just heard on the radio.
Whoops! Cut to the bug bomber lighting up and heading upstairs. Tara leaves the bathroom and hears something, like a baby crying or a cat maybe, and goes to investigate. I think it goes without saying that if I heard a baby, like even if I expected it to be your baby, for instance, I would leave it. If I'm in a creepy building and your baby might die, I am still gone. In fact, you know what? I hope your baby dies. Yeah, just for putting me in this position, little c***. She then comes across this pile of tyres and says,
Figures.
which I don't understand. It figures there would be a bunch of tyres here? Can someone please explain that to me in the comments? Suddenly a shopping cart starts to growl at her, so Tara backs up into this woman and her baby. Creepy woman is creepy and introduces her rubber baby to Tara. Our hero then excuses herself and heads back to the front door. Well, Jesus Christ! Tara runs and hides as Art searches for her for a bit before off. Tara then moves from her spot for some reason, not just bolting for the front door when the clown finds her. Art tries to choke the girl out, then goes for her eyes when Tara is able to stab him and run. She tries to call for help but doesn't get an answer, so picks up this thing and hides once more. It looks like she's about to be discovered when Tara throws a bit of metal and Art goes to investigate. Tara then checks her ripped up leg as we cut to Victoria driving. She hears about the murders at the pizza place on the radio and we cut back to Tara. She finds the front door has been bolted shut and tries unsuccessfully to pull it open. She then heads upstairs and tries to open a window but again has no luck. That's when she spots the bug bomber. She calls out for help but Art grabs her and shoots her up with a syringe filled with maybe, causing the woman to pass out. Cut to Tara waking up taped to a chair. She turns to see Art playing with the chain and he flashes her a very British smile. The clown then taunts her with this hatchet-looking thing before giving her a head tap and heading back to his bag of tricks. That's when he picks up a hacksaw and puts it to her throat but again doesn't make contact. Instead he walks over to this tarp and rips it down, revealing Dawn hanging upside down, still very much alive. And here's the most famous part, ladies and gentlemen, the scene that put Art on the map. He takes the hacksaw and slowly, painfully cuts her in two. Vagina first. All the way through her tum-tum. And halfway down her face. Good Lord. Finally finished, Art starts heading back over to Tara when she manages to free herself and cracks him in the face. She then stabs him once like a amateur and runs off as outside Victoria arrives. Tara then picks up this 2x4 and hides as Art enters and starts looking around. Tara's able to crack him one in the head, then starts beating the shit out of him, hitting him over and over like she should have done with the knife. She takes this a little too far though, telling him to get up instead of turning his face to porridge. And that's when things take a turn. Hey, what the f***, Art? That's cheating! Slashers are supposed to slash, not shoot guns. That's against the rules! Cut to the nutty woman with the toy baby listening to the carnage, then back to Tara as she tries to crawl away. Art pops another bullet into Tara, then aims for her face. But it's not a problem. Tara's our final girl. There's no way Art could... This is some bullshit, Damien. I'm not happy. We then see, thank God, Tara is still alive and Art has run out of bullets as outside Victoria, who is clearly going to save my skelly queen, parks up and sees the now empty car. She knocks on the door but obviously doesn't get an answer as Art reloads his gun. Dawn's phone then starts to ring and Victoria texts saying she's outside. Art replies telling her to go round the back and then takes a selfie with what's left of Dawn. Finally, he returns to Tara and... Poor Tara. She's shitting in angels' mouths now. This is witnessed by the crazy lady who takes off running as outside Victoria searches for the entrance. Back with the bug man, he's jump scared by the crazy lady who tells him about the dead women in his basement. He obviously dismisses this, telling her to get away from him as she begs for help. The bug man pushes her down and off downstairs when he hears Victoria calling out. He stops to make a phone call when Art creeps up and hammers him in the face. Art then hammers the phone as we cut to Victoria searching for Dawn and Tara. The crazy lady then finds her baby missing and starts to freak out. She then takes off as Victoria continues on her search. Eventually, the crazy lady finds Art with her baby and edges closer to the clown while consoling her daughter. Then, in an effort to get the baby back, she tries to mother Art.
It's okay.
Cut to Bug Bomber number 2 pulling up and trying to get in the building. When he finds the door locked, he calls his colleague, who of course doesn't answer. Back with Victoria, she calls Dawn's phone and hears it ringing in the other room. She follows the sound, eventually discovering Dawn's bisected body. She takes off running, but on her way hears a woman scream and thinking it's her sister calls out to her. Once again, if that was me, I would be gone, okay? Just in case we're ever in a similar situation. You hear that, Cassidy? You're getting left! Victoria creeps down these stairs and turns the corner to find her sister still alive. It's a miracle! for f***'s sake. Victoria gets out of there as Lady Art gives chase, just looking like an absolute nightmare. Victoria then hides, but it doesn't take long for the clown to find her. He tries to get at the woman when outside Bug Bomber 2 hits his car horn to try and get his dead friend's attention. He's about to leave when he remembers the spare key, unknowingly dooming himself to what promises to be an awful death. Inside, he calls out, there spots blood on the floor, which he follows as if there's gonna be anything good at the end of that rainbow. He then finds the crazy lady's baby when Art appears behind him. That's what you get for actually turning up to your job. Cut to Victoria coming out of her hiding place and passing Art's discarded womanly bits. She tries to get through this door but finds it locked as Art rides around on his little clown bike. Victoria once again hides when she hears a crash and discovers Art's bike but no Art. She then creeps through a couple more rooms, hiding here when she's caught and nearly suffocated by the clown. Victoria breaks free and stabs Art in the foot before once again running off. Cut to the OG Bug Bomber actually still alive, waking up from his hammer nap as Victoria discovers her sister. Who I'm just gonna say now, I don't think I fancy anymore. She has a little cry when Art appears behind her and starts whipping her, ripping old Vicky up with this nasty looking weapon. It looks like she's done for when the Bug Bomber clunks him, knocking the clown out. He then picks up Victoria and takes her to this office where he calls the cops, letting them know the trouble they're in. He tells Victoria they're gonna get out of there in his truck, but on the way finds this door locked. Then, unfortunately, while looking for a way out, the Bug Bomber is knocked down by Art and has his head exploded. Nice. Victoria finds this pipe which she uses to break the lock when Art tries to strangle her. She stabs him in the eye with something, then runs, getting behind this door and narrowly escaping Art. He then disappears again when Victoria thankfully starts to hear sirens. Not one to give up on his victims, Art drives through the doors while listening to jazz, then gets up close to the girl's face. The police show up and try to apprehend Art, but he ain't having that shit, instead deciding to go out on his own terms.
No, no, no!
The police then discover Victoria, or what's left of her. Cut to some bodies being brought into the morgue. This fella tells the autopsy man about the fun evening that Art had, revealing he was eating Victoria's face when the cops found him. The paramedics leave, and after seeing Bug Bomber's mushed head, decides to go take a look at Art, who seems to be smiling. That's when the lights go mental and things get spooky. And we'll find out what happened there in part 2. Well, not really. Come on, Damien, you gotta start giving us some concrete answers here, because we'll get to it in part 2. Cut to the hospital 1 year later as Victoria is being discharged with her parents. The doctor wishes her well and tells her good luck with her interview tomorrow. We then see her face and the film comes to an end. The end! Well, what an absolute banger of a first entry and fantastic introduction of a savage slasher. Great work. Terrifier is a brutal, inventive and sometimes hilarious movie that takes extreme violence to the mainstream while also introducing a fantastic new slasher in Art the Clown. The story is simple enough, with a couple of innocents running afoul of a psychotic clown and his bag of tools. And that's pretty much it, as simple as it can be. The movie just serves to feed Art more and more unsuspecting victims without ever advancing the plot from there. It's basically just a survival movie as Art finds more and more interesting ways to dispatch his chosen prey. It isn't until the end of the film that anything plot-wise occurs when Art the Clown comes back to life after eating a bullet. We don't learn anything about the killer or his motivations for the madness and don't even get any hints to theorize on. That comes in part 2 and I definitely have some thoughts, but we'll get to that in the next one. On to the characters, and I'll quickly say all the victims are great. Much better than you'd expect for a movie of this low budget. I especially enjoyed Dawn's character and of course fell in love with Tara. They're all great, but of course the star of the show here is David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. David's playful yet terrifying performance cemented Art as a Horror Hall of Fame gamer, and it's no surprise he immediately was welcomed by the horror community as the next big bad. It's incredibly rare to create a new slasher that becomes part of the zeitgeist like Art has, and I think a big part of that is down to David. Next is the gore, and good lord, I don't even know where to begin. Once again, we have a movie where the director is a gore effects artist, and with that we get some of the most creative and in-your-face blood and guts most audiences, especially mainstream audiences, hadn't seen at that point. But we can't talk about the gore without mentioning the absolute madness that is Dawn's death. I really have to commend Damien for coming up with this kill and having the balls to put it on screen. What a terrible way to go. Poor Dawn. Production-wise, the movie looks great for the amount of money it cost. On top of that, all the other elements such as editing, sound design, and score are great. There really isn't a bad word to be said about this movie in terms of production, and the film stands as a solid achievement in the world of low-budget filmmaking. All in all, Terrifier is a simple but awesome slasher film that gives us characters we care for and kills that are as inventive as they are repulsive. It's really no surprise fans fell in love with the film, and it became such a successful franchise, releasing sequels with Part 3 coming out earlier this month. I will be covering those sequels very soon, but until then, if you somehow haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend checking it out this Halloween. So that was my review for Terrifier. What do you lot think? I really do love this thing, and I'm so glad movies of this nature and quality are still being made today. I really hope Terrifier's continued success inspires other filmmakers to go and get in the mix and make something truly shocking. I know I will. This film is just a massive bloodbath, and I have so much respect for it. Art really does love ripping up his victims in the worst possible ways. Speaking of which, if you want to see Dawn get split down the middle, completely uncut and early, head over to patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons. There you can find the uncut version of this review, plus others with more stuff being added all the time. We got the uncut reviews, Patreon exclusive reviews, / comic breakdowns in the Discord. And all that can be yours for as little as $2 a month. You can pledge more, I really appreciate it, as I need to finish my film. As I said before, we got an Indiegogo campaign running for the finishing funds for my short film Better Anything. Any spare penny that I have is going towards that, and I could use the help, so please go over there now and donate what you can, big or small. Please. Seriously, please. I really appreciate it. So that's it for another week. Like the video, leave a comment, and click subscribe if you haven't already. My name's Jonjo Lyons, and go see Terrifier 3. Okay? Please. We need this to do well so that they make more. Not just of this series, but lots more extreme violence in the mainstream. Mainstream? No, that doesn't work, does it?